So practical pessimism, you know this, it's what helped me release anxiety around leaving my job to start my business. And has helped me recently. It helped me stop stressing so much about charisma on command. And it's this idea that the human mind basically hates the unknown. And so when you're going to do something risky, all you think about is like, this could go bad. And then that unknown boogeyman kind of prevents you from taking the risks that you want to take that would change your life. And all practical pessimism is just nailing it down. Being like, okay, I'm going to quit my job and move to Brazil. What could actually go wrong? Okay, the business might fail. Well, what would happen if the business would fail? I would slowly dip into savings. Okay, well, how long could you live off savings before you needed a job? Well, this long. So I would actually have a chance to start another business. What if your savings ran out? Would you starve to death? No, I'd have to go live in my parents' basement. It would be very shameful. I'd have to take a job I didn't enjoy, which is what people do. They go work for money. And then I'd save up more money, and then I'd try again. I'd try a third or a fourth time. And so when you write it all out, instead of being this thing where it's like, I'm throwing away this amazing private equity job and I'm scared, you go, I would do that. I would sign up for this worst case scenario. It's fine. It's whatever period of time living in Brazil with all my friends, and then going to live with my parents, and then going back to Brazil again. And you go, okay, well, what's the upside? And then you write out the living your dream specifics. And I don't know, to me, just multiple times in my life, it's made it much easier to like not be stressed and chase my dreams.
Because you just heard this again and it made you.
I just heard it again in the podcast, and I wanted to share it on our podcast. He re-put a video up from like 2007, I think, or 2014. It's a 17-minute video on practical pessimism. And I had been stressing about charisma on command because you have kind of lost interest in doing the breakdowns. I took them over. I've realized that they're quite burdensome when you have to do them every single week. And I was like, all right, man, I don't know what's going to happen with this business. I don't know how we're going to produce content for people. And in a vacuum, that was stressful. It's like, what's going to happen? That's my income. That's the thing I've built for the last 7 years. Stress, vague stress. And I was like, okay, let's do this exercise. We just happened to, fate put this podcast into my hands. And so I did it. I was like, okay, what happens if Charlie and I just never make a breakdown? We have to figure out a new way to make content. Maybe we make it less. Maybe once a month we release a really good video.
Like a podcast.
No, like a react video. But I just went through. I was like, what actually happens? It's like, okay, once a month we'll just commit to making a good video. And then besides that, we'll do it. And it's like, okay. And so then you make less money. And I literally went through this. I was like, well, what would I do if I made 20% as much money? Okay, I could leave California, move to Waco, Texas. And I literally did this. I went on to Zillow. I was like, where are places that aren't LA? Because when you live in LA, there's a sense that you're not making enough money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That no matter how successful you are, I'm in a 670 square foot 1-bedroom apartment.
And this is about 200 square feet.
Yeah. And so there was, I fell into this thing of I go surfing in Malibu every day or every week, and I see these $20 million houses. And I was like, that's what I need. That's what I need. That'd be so amazing. I went, okay, well, whatever. I'll just stop surfing completely. Now I don't need the beach. And I'll stop looking at major metropolitan areas.
Dude, this is the social dilemma. I mean, what you just said, I haven't quite figured this out because I often think I would be not so much, the degree to which I see a $20 million or $100 million Malibu home only hurts me.
Yeah.
Because let's say that I'm so inspired and I work so hard and I earn it and I get that house. It doesn't make me nearly as happy to have that house as it does frustrated to think that there's something out of my reach that would make me genuinely happy. And so we've talked about getting off of the web, all these kinds of things, but knowing that stuff is out there is not it's great for one's work ethic oftentimes, but really bad for one's emotional experience of life. This was
the big takeaway I had from listening to this practical pessimism again, was I went, okay, what would I do? Charisma on Command it does 10% of what it's doing now. Okay. And then I went through the exercise, and my answer was like, I've been so tied to this idea of like living on the beach, but if push came to shove, I'd just move to a place that was 1% the cost for a house. You know what I mean? And I get a tiny house in the middle of nowhere, and I'd take my dog, and I'd be fine.
Yeah.
And then I could try to build something again and get back to California in 5 years. And so, again, for me, just multiple times in my life, it's been so helpful. I thought it would be worth sharing. So that's it.
Hope that you guys enjoyed that clip. If you want to see more like this and have us do more podcasts, we are 100% funded by our generous patrons. And if you'd like to contribute, there's a link in the description, and we'll have one pop up on the screen right here so that we can do more podcasts where we have fun conversations and hopefully some deep ones like this. Either way, hope that you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one.